Hey everyone, hello, welcome to Decibel FPS. Today I have something really special and really something that I wanna work on and help you guys decide between which earphone or a headphone to choose for your daily needs using a phone and a PC. Like if you have a PC and a phone and you want to use one device, one earphone or one headphone, and you don't have enough money to buy it, buy a very high-end audio headphone or earphone, then you are at the right place. Maybe I can set you up with something that will make sense and also match your budget. So today I have decided to test three of those headphone and earphones. One of them is the clip-on headphone, which is this one right here. It is a Koss. I hope it can you can see it. Maybe not. Maybe it's not auto focus. Okay, let's try again. Hello, hello. Focus, please. Okay, it decides not to focus right now because it's mad at me. So yeah, it is Koss KSC75. And then there is another one I wanted to talk about is the Tangzu Waner 2. It is not the green one or the lion, so it's a normal Tangzu 1 or 2, tried and tested. And then I also have the uh, Salnotes Zero, the original. All three are budget options. They're not high end, but you want to know which one will make sense for you if you are using it on a phone or and also a computer. You know, some of you have computers. Well, we'll do testing on both sides. First of all, I would like to show you the charts that these things come with. You might have heard about Harman curve. So basically, the curve of sal notes looks like this. Let me pull it up. Mm, hold on, hold on. It's right here. So let's bring it up and up here. Yes, there it is. As you can see here, this is the chart, the curve of the frequency chart of Salnotes. What do we see here? It looks pretty neutral. Like you can see, there is a sub bass region. There is not much bump, and mid bass also remains really steady, right? Lower mid range, and in this lower mid range, you will be hearing your guitars, and it's most likely contains some male vocals, and then there's upper mid range, which is there is a little bump in that, meaning it is more present on this curve, meaning you will have or you will be able to hear vocals more clearly, and also there is then treble, and in the treble you have a couple of peaks, and then there is a roll off, right? Looks this is more like a Harman curve. You know, this is more like something neutral. I can say this is a, if you look at the regular Harman curve, this one is neutral. So the overall sound signature of 7HD Sal notes, according to the paper, is it's neutral, has good bass, but not too much rumble, has good treble extension, and very good upper mid range, meaning the vocals will be very clear, especially the female vocals will pop, and it's not so peaky that it will feel shouty, right? So this should do the job for those who are looking for a very balanced signature. So I can try it on the phone for your sake, just to make sure you know what I'm hearing is right. So hold on, I have to use a USB-C cable in order to do that. We'll test all of the three in detail. We'll test them on the computer as well as on the phone because there is a difference, and I will let you know what the difference is. And also I will be testing it using the DAC separately in this video. So this is going to be a pretty detailed review of these three earphones. So stay patient with me because I will tell you what exactly to buy and what not to buy. All right. So I'm trying to get this working here. Oh my god, I can't see the little holes. I mean, they. Wow, this is unbelievable. How am I missing the mark here? Maybe I'm not good left-handed. Okay, that's right. So here, right hand works just fine. You see, and do the right hand again, and there we go. We have earphone ready to be connected to the phone. I'm sorry you couldn't hear the music from the phone, so I will have to. You'll just have to trust me. You just have to trust me. So I will listen to the same sound, basically same. I will focus on the upper mid range, which will be female vocal and some treble extension. So I will listen to something that can highlight that. All right, listening to it right on my phone, uh, I can assure you that it sounds very good. There is no harshness. This section of the music can be harsh on certain earphones because it has a female vocal, which you will hear when I test it on the computer, and there is that little bit of treble. Now, all praise goes to that Salnotes Zero. Amazing uh, for what I paid for it. It does a great job on the phone. Although, let's quickly compare it with this Wan'er 2, which is another uh, legend in the IEM market, right? So I'll quickly do the Wan'er 2. In the budget market, I should mention that. Not in the high end market, yeah? Because we have budget and then we have the medium end range. See, my left hand really can't do work, right? There, I'm plugging in my Wan'er. That's plugged in. And before I do that, let's bring up the frequency of Wan'er. All right, there you have that. There you see. It is kind of similar to what you have in Salnotes Zero, right? But there is a little extra peak around like maybe about 2.5 to 3 kilohertz range. There's a higher here, and then there is in the treble area. It is much higher in 10K range. So it will be more. Uh, there'll be more treble. You will feel or hear more treble extension than you could on the Wan'er. So this, by the definition of this chart, the bass looks almost same. A little more than Salnotes, but nothing dramatic is happening here, as you can see. Nothing is not. It's not hitting over 70. It's between 65 and 70, which is almost similar to Salnotes. And then there is this drop off in the treble, so leaving something out in the treble range, but still feels more sparkly, right? And let's see if that is true. I don't trust the graphs. This time I'm comparing IEMs to IEMs, so it will matter. But later, maybe when I compare this, we might have a different story altogether. So, sorry about that. I got some problem with my throat today. Here, let me play the same section I was playing before and see which one I enjoy more. Oh wow, this is louder. uh, Before I say anything, with the same amount of volume, uh, Wan'er is much louder than Salnotes Zero. So much louder that I quickly had to lower the volume. So right now I'm sitting at around like 60% volume, and it is loud. All right, that's all right. So Wan'er 2 surprised me now. Uh, Definitely more sparkle, definitely more vividness in that bright area. These high frequencies are so sweet to the ears. I would say more like eargasms. Definitely very pronounced and way more sweeter somehow than the Salnotes. Salnotes is not bad, it's balanced. But the Wan'er has a little color, which is subjective. Some people may not like the color. Some people like a little flavor. So Wan'er 2 definitely has a flavor to it, and I personally love that flavor more. So for treble, if you ask me between Wan'er and Salnotes 0, Wan'er 2 and Salnotes 0, I will give it completely to Wan'er 2 as personal choice. There's also something that you should know that according to Harman, that people who are younger will feel treble harshness more than people who are older. So as you grow older, you might want more treble. That's the reality. That's the science. So perhaps that's why I'm 40. So that's could be the reason I enjoy Wan'er 2 more than Salnotes 0 in terms of that. And this is all without any amplifier or anything, just a regular phone with the directly USB-C connector. USB-C connector. As you can see, my phone doesn't have any 3.5 mm female jack, so I can't use the this like this. And the Koss, which is another one I want to compare it with, which doesn't sound reasonable since this is not an IEM, but this is a clip-on headphone, right? This is a clip-on headphone. Looks very weird. Look at that. And maybe makes it look funny. Makes it look slightly funny. So comparing this with that is like comparing apples and oranges. However, not, because this thing costs, I would say, in the same budget range. You can get this from 2000 to 2500, and even the one or two you can get for 2000 to 2500 depending on where you buy it and when you buy it. And Salnotes also you can get up to 2000 or maybe sometimes even more. And then you have to remember that these ear tips here on Wan'er are Salnotes. Sometimes they fit and sometimes they don't fit, and sometimes you really have to buy new ear tips or something more foam ear tips or spring ear tips in order to get the proper fit for your ears, so you get that bass. Otherwise you won't. You really need that fit in order to achieve that uh, advertised bass of the set, because how they test it, how this frequency chart has been tested is like by coupler, and couplers you have to put it inside, and when you when the coupler hears it, there is no air going into the coupler, so that it gets a perfect bass. So the bass extension here is kind of like more like over bloated in the real world. What is here wouldn't be when you actually do it in the real world. But yeah, still on the phone, these guys give good amount of bass, which is enough for a normal person, unless you're a bass head. And when you are a bass head, I'm sure you would be satisfied with most of these. However, we're gonna test this thing now, and I will tell you my honest opinion on this. So right now, for the same song, same section of the song, which is more focused on the treble and the upper mid range. However, as you can see, I'm trying to plug the 3.5 mm jack into it, and I don't see any holes, right? Which is normal for an old person. However, if I have this is a DAC and an amp. This one is J Cali JM98 Max, if I'm not wrong. So I can connect this one to my phone, right? And now it has the female 3.5 port. So I can now connect my clip-on headphones, which are Koss KSC75. And then I can literally clip them on my ears like that. And finally, listen to this sound. You have to see my expression in order to know if I'm enjoying it or not. Oh, let me show you. You might be hearing through the mic possible because these are open-ended headphones, and they will bleed. Okay, in this test, I wouldn't say I enjoyed Koss KSC75 as much as I enjoyed Wan'er too, which is contradicting to the fact that I've been using these three for a while now, and eventually these are my favorite. Uh, you say what you can about that, but yes. However, in this test, when you are testing this upper mid range here, and the clip is exactly meant to test that, these can be a little harsher for long listening sessions. Possible, yes. Uh, and also, we have to understand that we are using a DAC. It's an amp also, so it's louder. However, we haven't tested the other two with the DAC, so maybe I can tell you if there is an improvement in them using a DAC. But I will give it one more shot, Maybe I was too loud on this using a DAC, so maybe I will turn down volume a little bit to give it another chance. Okay? I have a bias because I have eventually settled with these, so I want to give them another chance. I have to give it to the song. This is a copyright free song, and it's so good. Okay, so this time it wasn't harsh at all. I just one step down volume, and it was perfect. I mean, I did enjoy it this time. Earlier, I tried it, and it was much louder, and I didn't feel harsh. Like I felt like, but you cannot go on listening to that for a very long session. That's what I felt. So yes, now let's get back to testing those with the amplifier, which is another thing. Some people might want to know, hey, will an amplifier help my earphone become better? That's the thing. Will my headphone do that? So I will actually, for that, I will need this cable. I have an extra cable which has a headphone 3.5 mm jack, which can go into the J-Cali like this, and I can connect them to my Salnotes and as well as my Tangzu Waner. And I have bought them myself. I'm not so. This is in fact my first review, so I'm not sponsored by anybody, and I don't favor anyone more than the other just because they are paying me. Nobody pays me none. It is just my passion. I'm an audiophile on a budget, and I do the budget. I have decided to do the reviews as well. So let's go ahead and try the same section. I gotta turn down the volume just to make sure my ears won't blow out. Okay. Yes, I don't think the J-Cali DAC helps Salnotes much. It doesn't. It just makes it louder. You can listen to it more louder, but it really doesn't add anything special to it. That I can assure you. So if you have a Salnotes 7Hz 0 and you don't have a DAC and you have USB-C phone, I would suggest get a USB-C cable and call it a day. No need to get a DAC. Uh, that's it. This doesn't need a DAC on the phone, and the DAC wouldn't help you automatically improve the sound quality. However, it will make it louder if you don't have enough volume available on the phone. So, and there was nothing like wow when I heard this. Now let's try the same thing with the Wan'er. Wan'er always makes me go wow. But yeah, let me do it again. Oh, I was pushing my right side of my ear because there is some problem with the Salnotes. Sometimes it loses the connection. Okay, so oh wow, look at this. I have another USB-C and I have to change it to the 3.5 mm jack, which is a pain as usual because we have so many different standards now, so we have to keep switching cables. That's the thing. Why can't they just keep one standard 3.5 mm jack and call it a day? What's the USB-C thing going on around? Makes no sense. The phones dropped the 3.5 mm jack. I don't know why. This was what all audio interfaces loved, and now we have to go through USB-C, right? What a pain. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to Tangzu Waner with the DAC. As you can see, it does make me smile. That's how it is. Wan'er makes me smile when I listen to it. I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like something is in Wan'er too, which just makes the treble so amazing that it makes you smile. So yeah, if you are using only a phone, and do you need a DAC for Wan'er? Absolutely not, because Wan'er does a great job without the DAC. It's loud enough, and you don't need this DAC for Wan'er 2. Wan'er 2, and the Wan'er 1, the original, you also don't need a DAC. So if you have only a phone and you have only a couple of thousand, uh, rupees to spend, and you are confused about which one of these should I get for my phone in order to enjoy music to the fullest, I will definitely recommend Wan'er 2 from these three. Simply because of that eargasmic high end treble that you listen from it. And the bass also is there. Punchy. There's no rumble, but punchy, but that treble. That treble and that clarity in the voice is something uh, can't be done by Salnotes Zero. Koss can do that, but I think Koss has bigger meaning. But if you want it only for the phone, then I wouldn't recommend Koss. However, if you want for PC, that is a different story. So today's review is all about that. I will test all the three on computers in detail. For now, if you are only talking about phones, I would highly recommend Tangzu Waner 2 for the if you want to choose between them. I mean, there may be other options better than these, but I don't know. The sound signature, the timbre of Tangzu Waner 2 is simply incredible for on-the-go use. But if you have bigger ears, smaller ears, sorry, this may look a little big for you. But you may need smaller ear tips, and it does come with a lot of ear tips. It has spring ear tips that come along with the box, and so you don't have to worry about that. There are sizes, smaller also are available. So I think yes, Tangzu Waner wins this show hands down, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video. For the music that I was testing, I will play it for you. Alright, so blindfold. I was testing this one. Now, on the computer, when I listen to this using this, this is the part I was listening to, because there is a female vocal and it has that hush, there is that treble extension. Alright, so there it is. I hope you enjoyed this show. There will be a part 2 of this. We will test all of them on the computer PC. And hit like if you like the video, and hit dislike if you dislike the video, and subscribe to the channel. And welcome to Decibel FPS, and have a great day.